I'm not even gonna lie. Rent so high, I'm about to go pick up a shift at the leasing office. I'm about to cover their Saturdays.
Rent is so high, man. Like, if you paying cheap rent, you better keep that crib. You better keep that apartment. You better keep it.
And it still ain't enough. Y'all, rent too high in California. I'm just saying.
Rent, bills, rent, bills. What we gonna do? Bills, bills, bills. Rent, rent, rent. It's always something due. When we ever gonna have some money where we can just do what we want to do? Relax, chill, have a good time? Excuse me. Knock, 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 knock. Rent's due. The fuck?
We are in the bad place. No hate, no shade to this poor lady who's trying to do her job. But I looked this up. Apparently this is in Boston. What do you mean y'all are paying $3,600 for a one-bedroom apartment? New England prices are already hell on earth, but y'all, it's that rough over there in Boston? $3,600 for a one-bedroom apartment? That is a mortgage price for a big house in the burbs where I'm from. Are you joking? Like, I kid you not. For that much money, you could literally have a pool in your backyard in the suburbs of Philadelphia. You could probably buy acres of land somewhere down south too. But it's getting out of hand because, you know, a lot of the time people have no choice but to live where they live. But $3,600 for an apartment.
And look, in today's world that we like right now, bro, rent is so high, man. Like, if you paying cheap rent, you better keep that crib. You better keep that apartment. You better keep it. Like, real talk. Like, people nowadays, bro, they paying so high for rent. Like, I was going house shopping, apartment shopping and stuff like that. Them folk looked me dead in my face and said this, bro. Yeah, to stay here is $1,500. To stay here is $1,800. To stay here is $2,000. To stay here is $2,200. Like, I'm talking about, bro, it's crazy. Even if you got that amount of money in your savings account or bank account or whatever, you gotta make 5 times that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I got the money to stay here, but you gotta get 5 times more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that might not include water or lights, Wi-Fi cable. You might not even got a washer and dryer in that place. You probably got to go to the laundromat or the laundromat at the place, because that's what they do. They got laundromats at the place. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, I feel like if I'm gonna pay $1,500 or more to stay somewhere, I gotta at least have something. I gotta at least have a washer and dryer. I gotta at least have space, peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do it, bro. Now, don't get me wrong, bro. The place is gonna be spectacular, cause they building them like they building new places, new apartment complexes like every so often. So it's gonna look amazing. But do you have the things that you need up in there? Probably not. I mean, not all of them, but you know, you got to think about it, man. You gonna be paying $1,500 or more. Then on top of that, you got a light bill. That's probably gonna be high. You got Wi-Fi cable. You got water bill. You got sewage trash. You got all these other bills on top of that. You paying more. Like, it's crazy, bro. Do they even make places where it's affordable to stay in? Like they must think that everybody in the world just got money stuck up their butts. You know what I'm saying? And every month they get to pull it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, bro. If you do and then on top of that, bro, you paying all that money for something you cannot keep. That was really bothering me. So you telling me I'm paying $2,000 a month and I ain't even keeping this crib? Like, if I miss one payment, I gotta get out. But you crazy, man. I can't do it. I don't know if y'all can do it. I know there's some people out here that's doing that. But man, I just be thinking about stuff like that. Like, that is beyond crazy to me, bro.
You know, the more and more time go by, paying $2,000-$3,000 a month to live somewhere for 30 days don't sound good to me. $3,000 a month for 30 days. Ain't that $100 a day? That's a hotel. Y'all scared me. Good night, good night, good night.
I'm not even gonna lie, rent so high, I'm about to go pick up a shift at the leasing office. I'm about to cover their Saturdays because rent is about to blow us out the country. I heard that they be getting discounts when they work at the leasing office. If you ask me, a part-time job as a leasing agent don't sound too bad. Because when I think about it, I really was sitting on the most amount of money when I was a resident advisor in college. When I didn't have to pay for room and board, when I tell you that money was so fat, boy, that check, that refund, that money from them jobs was so fat. Don't even get me started. And I just genuinely feel like if you can find a way to finesse and really get ahead by not having to pay for living, ain't no way you ain't balling out. And I get everybody's situation is different. I'm not trying to say that and tell people what they should do or whatever like that. I'm just giving my opinion for all the comments and the internet warriors. But like, think about it. If I could really pull that off, keep my same career, pick up maybe 1 to 2 shifts every now and then at a leasing office and get free or discounted rent.
It's late 2023, the Phoenix area. Investigators with the State Attorney General's office are looking at apartment rents. They're up 76% since 2016. Something is off. These 4 building rents are 12% higher than others, but they offer similar amenities. They have different landlords, so you'd think they should be competing with one another, but they weren't. The prices were allegedly being set by one entity, an algorithm owned by a company called RealPage. In fact, this was happening everywhere in the area.
That's old-fashioned price fixing using new technology.
We allege, in effect, a housing cartel.
Over 2,000 miles away, something similar is happening. It's alleged that all of these different units, their prices were set by one single algorithm, which sounds bad. And it could be happening in cities and states across the country. Renters have filed over 30 different lawsuits against RealPage. We're going to talk about what all this means, how algorithms, these black boxes of data, are shaping our markets and giving an incredible amount of power to the few, and how the Department of Justice and some state attorney generals are fighting back. Because this is a story about how a few lines of code broke the American housing market. What is RealPage?
So RealPage is a company that operates software that allows landlords to input their data into an algorithm, and then RealPage sets the prices for all of those landlords. This is actually against the law.
Attorney General Mays isn't the only one alleging this.
Our allegations are that RealPage, in combination with 14 of the largest landlords here in the District of Columbia, are effectively colluding with one another to set rents.
Across America, rent is up 20% since 2020. The Attorney Generals of Arizona and DC are suing RealPage and a host of big landlords, alleging that an algorithmic housing cartel is helping drive up prices.
In the pre-RealPage days, landlords would compete with one another.
They played a guessing game with rent prices. Push it too high and people move, leaving landlords hunting for new tenants. It was a delicate balance, a market. And I'm not sure if it was fair, but it wasn't rigged. An algorithm helped change all of that.
We're talking about an algorithm that aggregates otherwise confidential information that the landlords have that ordinarily they would not share with their competitors.
Data like rent prices, lease expiry dates, any deals they offer to tenants.
That allows then the algorithm to spit out a pricing recommendation, all designed to keep the overall market at its highest peak.
They are not charging what the market can bear. They are controlling the market. It's leading to the exacerbation of our affordability crisis, our housing crisis here in Arizona.
If you could imagine a smoke-filled room where the landlords, the largest landlords in the District of Columbia, came together to decide what they were going to charge in rent, to share their confidential information, everybody would be able to see that that's an anti-competitive practice.
Until recently, using shared pricing algorithms like this flew under the radar. If your algorithm set prices, you'd just say, it's not cheating, it's a suggestion. Not anymore. Lena Khan and the FTC have said just a suggestion. That's price fixing, no excuses. And RealPage, according to the lawsuits, they weren't even pretending the prices were suggestions.
RealPage has a system set up where the landlords who have adopted the system agree to a set of rules.
One of the rules is that RealPage gets to set rent prices. If landlords want to charge less than the digital oracle suggests, they have to justify their decision.
The justification needs to be reviewed by RealPage. RealPage can push back against the justification.
And if you push back too much, RealPage can kick the landlord out of the scheme, with one insider telling investigators, "Sometimes we were happy to see customers go."
They also had a policing agent that would go out and make sure that the landlords and their leasing agents were staying in line and not deviating from the price that was being set.
This scheme, if true, has had a real tangible impact on Americans.
RealPage advertises that it's going to increase revenues 2% to 7% for the participants in the cartel.
What RealPage is telling these landlords and is doing with these landlords is, don't worry about occupancy rates anymore. It doesn't matter really how many people move out of your building, you're still going to grow your revenue over time.
How? Through these coordinated price increases.
In Phoenix alone, we've seen rent increase 76% since 2016. It is almost certain that people were evicted as a result of these price increases, and that some people were made homeless by them.
To their prospective customers, the landlords, RealPage is pretty open about all of this. You can go to their website, type in a zip code, and view a sample of what buildings are using the software, along with any corresponding price changes. We'll see, this building right here, rent is actually down about 4%. If we just zoom out a little bit, a few blocks over, this rent is actually up 4%. They used to have videos where landlords talked about how RealPage's algorithm pushed them to raise rent, but the company deleted it after the Washington Post ran a story. On investor calls, they're flat out saying the algorithm is going to recommend higher lease rates for every property. But the company goes to great lengths to train landlords to hide this scheme from renters. Landlords were coached across a variety of scenarios and told not to mention RealPage or pricing algorithms to tenants. Instead, they were supposed to say stuff like units were being priced individually. RealPage and the larger industry dispute the charges. Since the onslaught of lawsuits, RealPage has largely stayed quiet, ignoring our request for an interview. But the industry has published a paper defending itself. They make a bunch of different arguments, but it boils down to two major points. The first, sharing info doesn't mean they're teaming up. Why? Because the rental world is just too big and too messy for any sort of secret deal to stick. But that doesn't seem to stand up to scrutiny.
The RealPage algorithm is being used by nearly 90% of the apartment owners in the DMV.
RealPage controls 70% of the rental units in Phoenix, and that they control at least 50% of the market in Tucson.
90% in DC, 70% in Phoenix. That hardly seems like a fragmented rental market. And their second point, more houses, not less data sharing, is the real fix for high rents.
That's bunk. You know, we've got apartment units all over Phoenix that aren't being rented right now because people can't afford them. The spaces are there, but people can't afford them because these landlords are setting artificially high rent via an algorithm, and that is just unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable.
Things are shifting. Renters are banding together in class action lawsuits. Arizona, DC, and possibly North Carolina are suing. They want to end the scheme, refund renters, and fine companies like RealPage. The DOJ has started a criminal investigation into the whole thing.
I don't think this is just an Arizona-based problem. This is not the only place where algorithms are being used to set prices.
This is, to me, one of the bigger kind of issues facing kind of our economy and consumers in the next decade or so.
There's a lot of positive things that algorithms and machine learning can do for society, but there are also risks associated with it. We can't be afraid of technology. We have to lean in and learn about it and make sure that we're keeping the public safe from the abuses that can sometimes flow from misuse of technology.
Thank you for tuning in to Shana Real Talk TV. If you like content that's real, entertaining, and actually says what people are thinking, you're in the right place. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, And stay tuned for more videos coming soon. I appreciate you all. Happy every day.
No fit overthink, oh.